Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another session of Pulaski County Fiscal Court. Appreciate everyone that's here today. Hope we have a great discussion with our items today, and we look forward to that. So I just want to extend a good welcome to everyone for being here. As normal, we do a moment of silence, and then I'm going to ask our coroner, Clyde Strunk, to lead us in our pledge. And moment of silence this morning. Remember the Prather family of the Science Hill community that endured this tragedy, and their family. Continue to remember them in your prayers, and also the state of Israel and the Middle East. We're in turmoil there. We don't know where that's going to lead, so just remember that in your moment of silence. So if everyone will bow for 30 seconds of silence. Thank you. Thank you. Everyone, please stand, please.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First item of business this morning will be to approve the minutes from the October 24th meeting. I think you've probably got a copy of those. If give you a minute to review.
Motion.
Mr. Wilson makes the motion. Mr. Ranshaw seconds. Any discussion? Changes, additions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. First, the next item will be old business, insurance. Kelly? Good morning.
I think pretty much everyone here knows me, but for those who don't, my name is Kelly Wilson. I'm with Nykerk Insurance. My purpose before the court this morning is twofold. Number one, I wanted to update everyone on last week's open enrollment. We had meetings with all employees. That went fantastic. That's probably our smoothest, best open enrollment probably since pre-COVID. So really very pleased with that and the reception that and the feedback that we received back from the employees. The other purpose of my visit this morning is I would like to ask the court to approve and sign our third-party administrator contract. That's the one piece of business still kind of hanging out there from the open enrollment period.
Motion to sign it. Second.
I have a motion from Mr. Strunk and a second from Mr. Wilson to sign the contract for third-party administrator with Nykerk.
That's got the, it's still the same where there's no third-party fees or nothing?
That is our standard boilerplate contract. There are no additional fees. We still intend to fully uphold the promises that we made in the prior court meeting in regards to providing both carrier bills and our bill.
Good deal.
I have some questions. One of the issues I have is the previous process. We went years not knowing officially what that extra money was taken out other than the insurance companies. Commissions. And I know you changed that. You said you're not adding, I want to double check, you're
That's
not
correct.
adding anything
Not
other
for
than the
2024.
insurance commissions.
No,
Okay.
all monies paid to us will be direct from those carriers.
But on this, and this is what I actually have a problem with, and I'm going to read this verbatim.
Sure.
You presented, let me find the right one here. Okay, terms of agreement. The term of this agreement shall commence as of the date, this agreement shall continue until terminated by either party by giving written notice of termination. I think this agreement needs to be looked at and approved by the court every year. So we
Okay.
don't have these issues of going years and years before we find out there's an act, that we didn't find things that we didn't know. Okay? I know Marshall sent an agreement over with a change on it. It says, this agreement shall be reviewed every year at time of renewal and can be terminated by either party by giving written notice of termination. I would like to see us, instead of going with that term, the wording for your term of agreement, to the wording for the county. I believe the county this needs to be reviewed every year and voted on by the fiscal court.
Martin, can't we just approve that for a year? Approve that contract for a year?
You could. It's got the, both of the proposed contracts have termination language in them upon written notice by either party, which is kind of unusual. Most of the time, it's written notice by one party that can terminate it. But paragraph 2 of both agreements provide termination upon written notice.
But their contract doesn't say it would be reviewed every year.
Well,
That's why I would like to replace.
You review the insurance every year, you have to.
There's nothing that prohibits you, it doesn't say you're prohibited from reviewing. If you want to review it, you can review it, and if you don't like it, well, you terminate it upon written notice.
I would like to see us replace their number 2 with our number 2. So I
This
wanna
is our
make a-
standard boilerplate contract that we use for all of our groups. As far as it coming up for renewal, the court votes who they would like to use for their agent each year. So if at ever a point in time the court chooses to go with another agent, then that would terminate that anyways.
I would just like to see the writing be more specific in that area. So I would like to make a motion that we,
Wait a minute.
You got a motion?
I can make a change to it, right? I can make a motion to change it,
And
right?
you could amend the
Okay.
motion,
I would like to make amendment to this contract.
the motion.
Yeah, from it saying, this agreement shall continue until terminated, to this agreement shall be reviewed each year at time of renewal and can be terminated by either party by given written. So I want to change number 2 on their contract to state what Marshall put in there for his.
Are there
I
any,
think-
are
I
there
think
any
it's
other
more-
changes to your proposed agreement other than that one, Judge?
I would like to drop down to number 3 on the compensation.
Oh, yeah.
That's what you're talking, is doing it all in one. You say there will be no fees charged, no extra fees this year.
Correct.
Could we have a detailed monthly statement from our insurance companies mailed directly to fiscal court, to our finance department, so we can keep up with where we're at on the fees?
They only allow for one billing address, and in the way that we function as a TPA, then those bills would come to us. Kind of what our internal discussions have been is that we typically email your invoice, and we would just attach the carrier invoice to that with all the pages included.
If you can do that, when we get an invoice, I know over the past several years, we have only gotten an invoice from Nykert Agency.
Correct.
And we would like to have a backup.
Yeah.
If you would attach the Anthem and all the other insurance, the Colonial Bridge.
Sure. That's what we agreed to
If you
in
would-
the October
if you
10th
would
meeting.
attach that
That's no
to your
problem.
invoice.
Yeah, that's
And-
not a problem.
And I also want us as the court to actually pay the insurance carrier directly on all insurance carriers.
Well,
Instead of having one bill, and this is my thought. We as a community, we as the people of this county, we get insurance bills and we pay them directly. We don't pay our insurance agent every month. we pay our car insurance, our house insurance, and everything directly. I think that would help us have better oversight on everything, instead of paying one agency. We pay the agency, and then the agency pays everything. I'd rather the county actually cut the check to the insurance companies and everything directly. I think we do that with CAECO Insurance, I think we do. So, I just feel that that's a better way for better oversight for this situation that we got.
But that isn't how a third-party administrator works.
I mean, that's exactly how
I
I
mean,
would
when you,
like to
when
see
you
it
pay
work.
CAECO turns around and then, don't they pay Anthem?
I'm not talking health insurance. We have our.
But that's all I'm
We have our
talking.
liability insurance with them.
But the principle would still be the same.
CAECO carries their own liability insurance.
CAECO's like the agent, though. They have
They're not the agent.
No.
They're
their own
actually
agent.
They're the
different.
administrator.
Only because they're their own agent.
Yeah.
They're self-insured.
But it's just like every citizen, we pay our insurance company directly.
It's not true. You pay an agent who forwards your money on to the insurance
No.
company that they represent.
When I pay my car payment, it goes to the insurance company. When I pay my house, it goes directly to the insurance company. If you want to pay
I
your
don't
agent,
think
that's up to
true.
you, but.
You got to go through an agent to have insurance.
Yeah, but paying the bill goes directly to the insurance company. It doesn't go to the agent.
Whatever you say.
Well, I think providing both sets of invoices should alleviate any concern as to any hint of impropriety or mishandling. You know, none of that has gone on in the past. The only thing I do want you guys to be aware of is that sometimes, particularly with Colonial, it will be 2 to 3 billing cycles before that will show up. So our invoice may reflect that, like if we have a new hire, it may reflect that employee is enrolled in medical, Colonial Bridge, and whatever products they choose. But it may be a couple of billing cycles before that Colonial catches up.
But the employee's automatically covered as soon
Yeah.
as they're enrolled.
Correct.
I just feel that with everything that's been going on over the last couple of months and the information we found out, we need better oversight. So I'd rather, pay the insurance companies directly.
Well, again, I apologize if you feel like things were not properly disclosed. That was never our intent. That is not our intent moving forward. Again, we have, I don't know, probably 65, 70 other groups. This is our standard contract. We've never had anyone have an issue with signing that. And again, as far as reviewing it each year, we agreed to 0 for our TPA services for the year 2024. So we're very happy to review that again next year.
Okay.
That's not a problem on our end at all.
If you're happy, will you put that in, can we amend the contract to state that?
I think that's something that we can discuss further at that time.
Well, we need to sign this contract,
We
right?
do. We do, and I would
Discussion
very much
period is right-
appreciate if the court would
The
just,
discussion period's right now before we make a vote on
Mm-hmm.
to sign it or not.
correct.
Unless we got another 2 weeks to do it.
No, we need to get this wrapped up.
So,
All right, we have an amendment to the motion on the floor to include Mr. Ranshaw's amendment that we review each year at the time of renewal, and it can be terminated by either party. Do we have a second on that amendment to the motion? I'll make the second. I'll second it, and I'll call for the vote if there's no other discussion. All in favor of the amendment only now, say aye.
aye.
Any opposed?
No.
That amendment fails. We need to have a roll call. Alicia, will you do the roll call?
Turpin,
No.
Wilson,
No.
Wilden,
No.
Ranshaw,
Yes.
Strunt.
No.
Judge Todd.
No. Amendment fails. Now we'll vote on the motion itself. All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
No.
Turpin,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Wheeldon,
Yes.
Ranshaw,
No.
Strunk,
Yes.
Judge Todd.
I'll abstain. Thank you, Kelly.
I'd like to actually go ahead and get it signed right now, if we could do that very quickly. And then I'll be out of your hair.
My hair's easily got down there. Wilson, you get out of our hair.
Judge, I'll provide you with a copy. Thank you, guys. I appreciate your business.
Thank you, Kelly.
All right, on to new business. Is there anyone here to present the audit from the state?
There's not. Actually, it doesn't have to be approved. It just needed to be presented to the fiscal court so that they reviewed if they wanted it.
Can you tell us about that? That's the audit the 22 audit that was end of June 22. And I think it's been published and reviewed by everyone, so it's nothing new, but we just have to approve it, I guess, to court.
Well, you don't have to approve it.
Okay.
They just need to have it.
We did receive it, and we have published it, and we do have another one ongoing, the 23 audit, that should be out very soon. It would be the previous administration of 6 months and my first 6 months. They're in the process of doing it now. We will move on to District 8 Transportation. Ms. Mallory, how are you doing?
I'm Mallory Fry from the Transportation Cabinet, and I'm with Jeff Dick also from the Transportation Cabinet. We're here because we're pretty much finished with the 461 and 80 project, and we're requesting that the county take ownership and maintenance of some of the roads there. So I'm just going to go through the list of roads, if that's okay, and tell you about each one. I think all the magistrates and Judge Todd have a set of the plans, and the plans are pretty specific, and on the plans, the road and the right-of-way is all highlighted, and you guys will take in the road and right-of-way if you agree. But then I also put this on all the magistrates' table or desks, and it just has the road highlighted to make it easier to look at, so I'll go through each one. The first one is Mark Shottville Road Spur. It's part of the old Mark Shottville Road before we did the project, and we realigned it. It goes into Todd Metal. The next one is Mark Shottville Road. It's a newly constructed portion of the road that connects into the old Mark Shottville Road. The next one is Valley Oak Road. It connects into the old portion of Valley Oak Road, and we realigned it and kind of replaced the roadway there for 0.16 miles. The next one is Coyne Road. You guys would take in from the right-of-way of the bridge over 461. We realigned from the bridge all the way to the new intersection there of Coyne Road and Valley Oak Road. And the county right-of-way will go to the bridge. The state will maintain the integrity of the bridge there that goes over 461, but the county will be in charge of plowing the bridge and everything, like whenever it snows, just so you guys know, because your roads lead into the bridge there. The next are two new roads. It's Coyne Road Connector and Pin Oak Drive Connector. And just on the plans for these, you guys will be in charge of all the gore areas for these roads too, just so you know. And you can see on the plans the highlighted right away there. And then the next one, the last one, is Pin Oak Drive. We partially realigned that into the old road. And also, all of these roads are either newly constructed or we resurfaced all of them, so.
I have a couple questions.
Okay.
So, one of the problems that I've been getting from the residents of the area, for one, they never replace a lot of the road signs and stuff that they took down along the road. I did one road myself, but I was told that that was gonna be a state thing, that they were gonna replace the stop signs and the road signs along that area. that
On
they-
on the old county roads?
From where you guys took them down to
Okay.
widen the road and all that?
We might not be completely done with our signage yet I don't think we've completely finished all that. We can ask our traffic engineer and
Okay.
make sure that we're gonna be doing all the signage
You
there.
can follow up with that, that'd be
Yeah.
great. The other thing, did you say that on the off-ramp and on-ramp for Pin Oak and all that,
The connectors?
yeah, is the state gonna cut that area, or is that the responsibility of the county now?
Mowing and everything there, that'll be the responsibility of the county in those score areas.
So we'll have to mow that area ourselves?
Yes.
And the bridge is state maintained still?
We'll maintain, if there's any defects with it or anything, but the county will have to plow it during snow and ice,
Plow it.
yes.
But as far as paving it and all that, the state would take care
I
of that?
believe.
The county roads will be maintained by the county as well. The bridge is concrete, so it shouldn't need anything attention to it for 50 to 60 years. But if anything fails on the surface of it, it'll be the state's responsibility to repair the surface of it.
One of our other problems that we've dealt with since the start of this construction is we've had a lot of 18-wheelers go on our back roads in my district, and I think Jimmy's district, and it caused a lot of problems out there as far as the surfaces, like Mark Joffville Road is all cracked up and all that, and I know you can't do anything about it, but we'll probably be applying for some state discretionary money. I mean, the Shopville Bridge, it's a mess.
Okay.
I mean, we've had hundreds and hundreds of trucks, and they're still doing it today because these trucking companies don't, either their MapQuest or whatever is not up to date.
Yeah.
So they're using these back roads and they're messing them up like,
We
you
talked
put
to.
80,000 pounds of stuff.
Yes. We talked to our traffic engineer about that the other day, and we just recently, I think, put some new signs to hopefully help them, and we talked to Frankfurt, too, about updating Apple Maps and everything, so hopefully it'll work better for them to tell them to take the right exits and everything, and they won't be going on the back roads anymore,
But
so.
it's still a problem. Mark Joffville Road, I've been told, still see truckers up there. I think Todd Truss is having a big problem with trucks turning around. So I don't know if we can get, I don't know the solution, but we may need the state to help us repave these roads, because I know
Okay.
Mark Joffville needs repaved now.
Yeah, we can definitely talk about that.
So as far as helping us get discretionary money to pave Shopville Road and Mark Shopville, I don't know if Jimmy has any roads that are real bad or not, so, due to his trucking, but it'd be
Okay.
great to have the state assist us with that.
Okay.
I've got a few out my way too.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Do we need a motion to accept these roads?
We'll have to have a public hearing and stuff too, won't we? Just like normal.
I don't think we need masters to look at them since the state has paved them, and is that has to be followed policy, Martin?
I would go ahead and follow that policy.
Okay, all right. I will need some magistrates to volunteer. It is, some of them are in second and, or fourth and third.
You can put me on there.
And I will.
Mr. Turpin and Strunk will look at those. Just take a look at those, and we'll have a public hearing, get one scheduled, and to accept these roads into the county system.
Thank you,
Mallory.
guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next item will be road addition removal. First, I want to bring up is to remove Garrison Drive. We had discussed it in a previous court meeting, and we did have a public hearing, and had 2 people show up, which there was no opposition to remove 2,245 feet of Garrison Drive. It's in Mr. Wheeldon's district.
I'll make a motion, we take them out.
Mr. Wheeldon makes that motion.
Second.
Mr. Strunk seconds. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
may I address that? Make a comment about it? Good morning. On this issue of Garrison Drive, I would like the minutes to reflect, please, if the chair approves, that section of road that the county just voted to remove from maintenance was inadvertently put into the county system by mistake. And that was done back a few years ago. And the landowner who owns land on all sides of that did not know that it had been taken into the county system. So we caught the error, and this is correcting an error. I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have. Mr. Wheeldon knows about this as well. Okay, thank you.
We have 2 more. Let's go with Rugged Park Drive. I think you have that in front of you. We need also magistrates assigned to that one. It's in Nature Valley subdivision. I need a couple of magistrates to look at that one.
I'll do
I think
it.
that's in Mike's.
I'll do it.
Mr. Renshaw,
You can put me on there, too.
Mr. Turpin, take a look at that one and report back to us. Also, we have 2 more roads, Esplanade Drive and Marco Island Drive. It's a new subdivision right off of Oak Hill at the city limits. Also need 2 magistrates to look at that, and I would like to ask the magistrates to look at that and approve a public hearing very quick. I have a special reason for doing that. If you know where the location is at, it's 100 yards from the city limits. So we need to move that one, expedite that one very quickly. I'm surprised other people already haven't asked for that one.
Oh, we might as well look at it.
Yeah.
Let's
You
see,
and Strunk, and then we,
We've already looked at it, haven't we?
No.
no,
that
this
one.
is a different one.
This is the one immediately right on top of Oak Hill Road.
It's in my district, so it'll have
Oh,
to
it's
be
in
you
your
all.
district. Oh.
Yeah.
Mr.
look at
Renshaw?
I'll look at it.
Mr.
Make a motion. Do we have to make a motion for a public hearing? Okay.
Appreciate looking at those. I think that takes care of all the road additions, removals. All right, we'll move to department reports. Gerald McCollum, first up.
Good morning. We'll start with the easy one first. I've given all of you a thumb drive with our policy manual. There was no changes in the policy manual, but by jail standards, I have to have them approved annually by the fiscal court. So I'd just ask that you all approve that. If you all get bored and want to do some reading, you're more than welcome to, but there's no changes in it.
Motion to approve the policy manual.
Mr. Renshaw makes a motion to approve. Do I have a
Second.
second? Mr. Turpin seconds. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Second part is building maintenance. A year or so ago, we had replaced one side of the jail with the heating and air. Now, naturally, the other side of the jail has decided not to work. We're spending a lot of time with compressors going out, boards going out on the air conditioners. A lot of time with the heating air being out on one side of the jail. I'd like to know what the courts would like to do, whether they'd like me to go ahead and get some bids as to far as what the cost is going to be to replace them, or how you all want to move forward with that.
I would say go ahead and bid it, and see what it is. Make a motion that he bid the heating in there.
Mr. Strunk makes a motion to look for bids, and Mr. Wheeldon seconds. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
And the last one is, we're having same issue with a piece of, it's a griddle, one of the things that we cook on in the kitchen. Half of it works and the other half doesn't. I don't know if you want me to go ahead and bid that out too and see what the cost of replacing that is.
Have you looked at the repair cost of
Yes,
repair?
it's an old griddle. You can't repair it. I don't even think they even make parts for it anymore, to be honest with you.
Yeah, advertise that for bid.
Mr. Strunk makes a motion.
Second.
Second by Mr. Wilson to bid out something to cook with.
Yeah.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
All right, that's all I've got. Thank you all.
Thanks, Jailer. Mr. Clyde, you're up next at the corner.
Couldn't hear.
Good morning, Court.
Morning.
Boy, I tell you, you guys gave a perfect example of democracy. We disagree, but we disagree agreeably. And that's wonderful. I'm glad to see that. I'm glad to live in America, aren't you?
Amen.
Well, I come before you today, Court, to first share some sad news. One of our backup transporters has passed away, Jerry Carricker, as most of you knew. And I come today to ask to replace him. This will not cost the court any money because what we do is we have transporters who, when we have a death that must go for an autopsy, we have a transporter who has to take that to Frankfurt or Louisville or wherever it must go. And of course, we have a transporter that does 90% of those. But as you know, there comes times in our lives when we have things that we have to do, and we can't make them all. And in our position, we have to do them 24/7 sometimes, no matter when. So I would ask that if you could to replace Jerry Carricker with Dylan Gross, who will be part-time backup transporter. And what that means, if the transporter that we have cannot, for whatever reason, make that, or if he gets too many hours that we all are conscious of, that we can only get him 100 hours a month maximum, him being part-time, then the backup transporter would take over and make that transport. And I would like to recommend Dylan Gross for that position. And if anybody needs a copy of his resume, I have those here.
Do you know the person, Todd?
Excuse me?
Do you know the person?
I do. I do. He is a volunteer fireman, and he has helped in many, many instances with loading and helping us in removal of bodies. And wonderful young man, willing to do whatever he can. He was a correctional officer at North Point Prison, and he has a wonderful personality, worked well with people, good driving record.
Mr. Wheeldon makes the motion, and Mr. Wilson seconds. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries.
And I will make sure he comes by Donita's office and gives her all the pertinent information that she might need.
Thank you. Next up is emergency management. Mr. Rick?
Good morning. Some of you do not know who I am, but unfortunately that you did hire me as a project director for a comprehensive wildfire plan that was awarded a grant that was written last year with Steve Kelly, and it was approved to accept the award this year. And I thank the court for hiring me to do this. The grant actually allowed to hire a project director to write a comprehensive wildfire plan and write a grant to fund that plan. And as what happened, the deadline was October 31st, and it's been moved up to November the 4th. Yes, that's past tense. And the grant has been written. The grant is 100%. There is no match needed. And what I did was I wrote a plan. I presented it to the judge to give him an understanding of what it was about. This is a collective information of information needed for wildfire protection. It's more like wildfire prevention programs. And basically, it gives the county an opportunity to do mitigation work on constituents' property. Now, this is only for wildfire protection. This is based upon agreement, so we've got a lot to go through, and unfortunately, I'll get to see Martin here shortly, that we'll have to move forward if we get the grant, the next phase. The next phase of the grant would be the implementation. So basically, it would not happen unless we get the next phase of the grant. So you're not going to make any promises to anybody to be able to do this and do that, because until we get the funding for it, we wouldn't be able to do it. But the plan itself, as far as saying what we can and can't do, and get the educational, get the information out there, and as development occurs, especially I think Mike's district has got a large area that's doing a lot of development in wooded areas, that when they have a woods fires down there, you got some people coming in for visitation or whatever reason, they don't know and understand. But fresh on everybody's mind is current wildfires, Maui. Of course, if you think back, we've also got the areas such as Gatlinburg. I mean, that's still fresh on a lot of people's mind. They've seen the destruction. And as you know, it's March 5th, we had a high wind situation, and we had a declared disaster. Now, FEMA, for some reason, on the paperwork, it didn't have us classified as that, but we were. And so I submitted that documentation as well. Those considerations of being under the medium household income, basic state level, and having high-intensity wildfires here, and also having declared with the documentation that was filed, makes us eligible for almost 40 of the 100 points needed for the grading process. Well, some of the grants last year didn't even score 40 points and was awarded. So it's a high probability, no guarantee. There's a lot more grants that were written this year than last year. Out of the $193 million that was awarded, less than $3 million went from the Nebraska east. Majority of the money went out west. There was no applications applied on the east side. Why, I don't know. We were the only one in the Commonwealth of Kentucky that even applied last year. So the money is out there, money is available for different programs, but you got to stay within confinements of that. Once again, you can't do it unless the grant is awarded. So right now we did write a grant, we submitted a grant. It was in a total of $1,456,240. And what that would entail is to hire a part-time crew to utilize equipment that can be purchased with this grant, and also look at something similar to, thanks to Danny Maston, he invited me up to this new air burner, and we were probably looking at a mobile unit of that to use out in the county to assist with the same process. And if we can do that, we can have less of the free burns out in the county that could be possibly out of control. So it's, in other words, it's a program process that we could develop upon slowly, and then if the grant is awarded, we can move forward a lot faster. I'll take any questions or anything. Anybody's got any concerns?
I appreciate what you're doing. I know we end up talking daily, if not weekly, about this grant and all that and the things we can do with it. And I really do appreciate not only your help in that area, but other areas for grants too. So, I just want to say I appreciate you. And now that you submitted the grant, are you just going to be in planning stages to get everything ready for
Yes,
when?
I got to get a clarification from the Kentucky Division of Forestry, because USDA had to sign a contract with the Kentucky Division of Forestry, and we had to sign a contract with the Kentucky Division of Forestry as a pass-through. And we'll probably have to do this on the next phase as well, if awarded. We won't know anything. Projected date is February 16th. And then if we get awarded then, I would make a recommendation that we start July 1 for Chris's paperwork to be a lot smoother. They'll work July 1 to June 30 and do a 5-year if it's awarded.
But in the meantime, you're going to still...
Go ahead.
But in the meantime, you're going to continue working on
Till I can
the
find
more
out,
details of
yeah.
that plan.
What I did was I broke the county down into the districts, mainly the fire districts, and worked through each fire department to start up not to put any more burden or paperwork on them, but to get an understanding of working through their fire prevention program and implement something if it's overburdened, develop a fire council within their department to where they could be established and set up. Attended the most recent Robert's Rules meeting to get an understanding, because if the agency or a homeowners association wanted to develop a fire council, what they can do is they can set up a 501c3. It's very common to be done, and that way they could establish funding for future purposes. That's one of the functions of this grant, is they look for sustainability. And by those developed areas having their own sources of income coming in, then it will be a continuational that they won't look on the federal government for. But they can look at other private and other sources through 501c3.
I know, like, today is, just for everybody's information, today is a heightened wildfire alert at the weather station. We got low humidity today, and when there's low humidity, that means the chances of fire are a lot more. And I've been on a couple big wildfires, the Happy Hollow one, and of course there was a big one out in Shopville a couple years ago.
Yeah,
I
that was
think
us,
Mike's
on 4th Street.
district's had a couple big ones here recently. So we just need to, do our best not to start fires.
Well, getting out the information and getting out small PSAs and work up the level as the intensity, mainly in the fall and spring, is our biggest concern. But the winter months, if we don't get much snowfall, which we don't know from year to year on that one, but the ice damage brings down a lot of trees. For us, that's fuel load that could burn, just like the wind damage from March the 5th.
Yeah, we do want to encourage anybody that's in a fire-prone area to make sure you blow those leaves away from your structures.
Yeah,
Because that's the biggest thing that feeds these wildfires is these dead leaves, so.
Thanks, Rick.
You're welcome.
We don't need any motion or just an update. Next item is the county clerk. I don't know if Tim or Mark.
It's me, Judge. 2 minutes.
2 minutes, our time's running out.
If I got 2 minutes, leave it done about 11. On Tuesday, November the 8th, I, along with 13,161 other Pulaski Countyans, voted. We voted 19,202 during the election cycle. Out of 50,680 some odd people, that's an average of 37.76%. That put us fairly slightly below the state average of 38.03%. Monroe County had the most turnout at 50.07%. Martin County had the least at 23.8%. Christian County, with 50,648 voters, only voted 23.83%. That's awful. That's an anomaly, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, we're 13th in the number of actual voters. We were 15th on the number of people who voted. That percentage put us at 52%. 52nd rating. There was 42 other counties that voted between the 36 and 40% range, so roughly 1/3 voted within 2 points of us. Most of the people voted at Hal Rogers and Hal Rogers in South Kentucky. Had 9,169 people vote at those two places, which is 47.8%. On election day, I had 5,438 people vote at those two places, which is 41.3%. So I guess everybody's comfortable with those two places. I can't enlarge them, so I don't know what I'm gonna do, but anyway, we're expecting about 30,000 people in the next election, in the next general election. We getting equipment in. I talked to our representative at Hart. He says they are starting to ship out equipment, so we will have them ready for 2024. So we have to get some of that money that we've got saved back now and use it the next couple of months, but we'll be ready.
Sounds good. Any
2
questions?
minutes?
Yeah, I have a quick question.
Of course you
Have we received all the money? I know you came to us.
Yes, it's been back in June, I think it was. Is that right, Krista? June, something like that?
So all that
We've been-
equipment we bought, we received the money for.
We've already got the money. That's what I'm saying. We're getting ready to get the equipment here next couple of months. I don't care if it comes in April now, because we're earning whatever y'all get at it, but it's been like that for 6 months or so.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure we did get all that money.
Oh, yeah, we got all the money.
Okay.
Anything else?
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Done good.
I'm sorry?
You done good.
That's all I know. Y'all, thank you.
Mark. Next item is the road department. First up would be the 3,000 ton of rock.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Wilson, second by Mr. Wilden. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Road list, you have that in front of you. We do have some speed limit in Fifth District.
Pulaski subdivision.
Pulaski. Need a motion?
They're wanting to make all the roads in Tuscany subdivision 15 mile an hour.
All the roads in that subdivision, 15 mile an hour.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Wilson. Second by Mr. Turpin. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Need to approve the road list as presented.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Strunk,
Second.
second by Mr. Wilson. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next will be finance. Krista?
You guys have the bill list in front of you. I'm looking for approval for that as it's presented.
Motion to approve bill list.
Mr. Strunk makes the motion to approve bill list.
Second.
Second by Mr. Wilson. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes.
And also, in front of you, you guys have the quarterly report. Does anybody have any questions about that? If not, I would ask the court for approval on it.
Motion.
Mr. Wilson makes a motion to accept quarterly report. Second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Strunk. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. That concludes our business for today, unless I have missed something, Martin. Didn't even have you on, Frank. Go ahead, Frank. You're on now.
I was wanting to ask permission to hire Austin Mercer.
As a mechanic?
Yep,
What was that name again?
Austin Mercer.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Strunk to hire a mechanic by the name of Austin Mercer.
Second.
Second by Mr. Wilson. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Now, do we have any other business? All right, it's open for citizens' comments. If we have any citizens here that would like to speak before the court. Seeing none, I ask for a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Mr. Wilson makes a motion.
Second.
Second by Strong. We will stand adjourned.